Hi, it's Dr. Shane. Welcome back for iHeartRadio and all of our friends listening on the iHeartRadio app. I'm visiting now with my friend John Miner. He is the owner of Complete Inc. Now, we're talking about property damage appraisers here, and if anybody knows the business, John does. He's out of Gulf Breeze. He's been doing this for many, many years. His father did it. His grandfather did it. And it's about putting businesses and people back on their feet after the storm. And after Hurricane Michael, there are so many questions that have been left unanswered. Where do I begin? What do I do now? Who's telling the truth? Who can get me the most money? And how quickly can I get back on my feet? Who do I call and where does it all start? His name is John Miner. And let me give you the website real quick where you can look it up. It's teamcomplete.com. That's teamcomplete.com. And you can get him at 850-932-8720. Regardless of the question, call right now. 932-8720. Let's talk about property damage and what it's like to be a property damage appraiser. Where he gets his numbers from, why he got into the business, why he has so much technology. And I'm talking about weather technology, meteorological, say that word, John.
Meteorological
technology, because you do have storm chasing teams, if you will. I mean, you have this cutting edge technology and drones and all kinds that helps us verify the damage that we've had due to a catastrophic storm, just like Hurricane Michael. And then you're there for the rebuilding process and to get us the most that we deserve to get our company back running again, our business back running again, our city back running again.
Roger that. That's really our goal. It's to understand where an individual property owner, whether a business or a municipality or a district or
sure,
whoever they may be, everyone has got their own unique needs. They've got their own method to get from the trouble that we're in here today to green pastures.
Sure,
it's going to happen. We're humbled and honored to be able to come back this weekend after being a little bit of rest.
Sure.
I took my team home for 3 days and loved on them over there in Gulf Breeze, and we actually took them to Perdido Key. And off topic, but it was a great little weekend with the guys and gals.
Because you guys have not stopped working since the storm. I mean, there's been no downtime for the complete team. The dedication. I am honored to serve with these folks that have come to work with me. I know you are.
Many of them have been with me in many years. They have done a service to this community that you'll see somewhere down the road. I know there's so many folks that have done a great job for this community and come through. But I'm honored to be working with the people that wear our flag.
They're called Team Complete. That's teamcomplete.com. You can look them up on their website as we're talking right now, or you can call 850-932-8720. That's 850-932-8720. And there's never a dumb question. I mean, we're all in this together, so no question is out of hand. Anything that pertains to property damage, appraisals, losses, where to start, where to begin, give John a call today. I want to ask you and inform me, if you would, John, you've been doing this so many years. Tell me the difference between a public adjuster, an insurance company adjuster, and then you have these independent adjusters. Now, those are three. What's the difference here? Let's start with a public adjuster.
Well, sure. It's a great question, and it's real topical because you're listening to the radio and the TV, and you're seeing the signs pop up around town.
Sure.
So I know all these public adjusters. I know I've known them all for years and years, or I knew the precursors to their companies. Public adjusting has become much more popular in the state of Florida just because of the nature of the claims environment here in the state of Florida, the nature of a one-way attorney's fees, and the difficult climate in Florida because of the hurricanes that we've had. There has been a huge increase in that industry, and there are many very competent, quality public adjusting firms that I am sure that there are certain occasions where those are appropriate for use. It is a advocacy program. It is a situation where you're going to give over. You're going to have someone else represent your claim. So they're going to speak on your behalf. They're going to get a percentage of the outcome. So
and that's not always good, right?
Well, it is what it is.
Right.
It depends. Here, I know here in where I'm from, I like to be, if we're making deals on my behalf, I kind of like to be standing there shaking hands.
That's the way I am, yeah.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
It's nice. And I'm not particularly interested in somebody from somewhere far out of town communicating on my behalf, where they may or may not let me know what decisions we've made based on what I know to be the facts associated with my loss. Or if I'm a homeowner or a property owner, I'm a business. I got a pretty good handle on what my contractor can put this thing together for me. And,
sure you do.
And now he may not be able to articulate it into an exactimate estimate, or it may be a little bit time cumbersome for him to do so, or her to do so. But I can understand general values. I know what it's going to take generally as a more astute property owner. I probably got a good handle on that. A public adjuster is going to take all of that away. Generally, I mean, there are some, I guess, that will work more closely in tune with the morality and the ideals that we try to envision and portray up here in Northwest Florida.
Right.
There's a difference between maximizing your claim and getting everything that's due.
Oh, very good. Very good answer. By the way, teamcomplete.com. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with the owner, John Miner of Complete Inc. And they do it all. They do absolutely everything. 850-932-8720. Now, when I say they do it all, I'm talking about property damage appraisals is what they do. We were just talking about the difference between public adjusters that have come into the area, and now I want to ask John about insurance companies adjusters and the difference.
Sure. So, again, great question. We talked about a PA is typically going to charge 10% if he gets in. He or she's going to get in there early and charge 10%. They may charge 20 on a reopen of a claim. There's a lot of details in that very long and real contract. It puts them in the driver's seat. In terms of who are they going to be working with on the other side, there's going to be a function of independent adjusters and company adjusters. And those folks have the same licensure as the public adjusters, except in that they place that license with a independent adjusting firm or a company firm. So most of the lettered vehicles that you see are going to be an actual employee of that company, and that could be, it could be Nationwide, it could be Universal, it could be whomever it might be. And you're going to have an employee driving that. You're going to have somebody with there's a checkbook somewhere in the background of that operation. Back in the day, of course, back in the day, we used to settle them on the back of a pickup truck they'd have a 4-part claim sheet and a check and handwritten.
That's the way it was done. And
it was done. It was resolved. You might have paid me a smidgen more over on the tree, but I didn't call you about the window.
There you go.
There you go. But so nowadays, instead of that, we have an exactimate estimating software, and we use independent and company adjusters to put together those estimating plans.
That's insurance company adjusters. That's what I was going to ask you, is about the independent adjusters that come along.
Roger. So. And those men and women are doing a fantastic hard job there. And they are just like so many other things. There's so many of them doing a great, great, great job. There will be some that they'll miss a detail that we would have hoped that they would have picked up. Mm-hmm. They surprisingly get paid typically a percentage or on a fee schedule.
That's what I was going to ask, is how do they get paid?
Crazy. You won't believe me if I told you, but the more they write, the more they get paid.
Really?
Yes, sir. 100%.
I didn't know that.
No, 100%. I've seen their bill a million times. Now, of course, there are reasonable expectations of efficiency, or how they can get it done for the least amount that is reasonable. Sure, but nonetheless, they get paid a percentage.
It's called the Complete or Complete Inc. And we're talking about property damage appraisers. That's what John Miner and his crew has done. Let me give you the phone number in case you're just now tuning in now to the show. 850-932-8720. 850-932-8720. Online, you can look them up at teamcomplete.com. There's so much information. There's a wealth of information on their website. This isn't just a fly-by-night company. John, you've been doing this for well over 20 years. Your father did it before that. Your grandfather did it before that. And you're a local. I mean, you're just right down the road. You didn't come in from California. You're one of us.
Well, I am one of y'all. I mean, I got into this thing from, carrying like I told you, my dad's toolbox. My right arm's longer than my left. Starting over there 8 houses a day around in Gulf Breeze, Florida. But, I got into this because the wind blew the trusses off of my parents' house down there on Soundside Drive in Gulf Breeze back in 1995. And,
right.
I watched the insurance company wrestle with our contractor in the front yard over $100,000. And I figured, well, goodness, let's see how this works out. And it seemed to actually do fine for both parties. The adjuster gained some understanding of real values. The contractor understood how the estimate needed to be identified and how they need to break apart the building portions. And this is something that is an important part. When you go back to do your replacement, you're going to ask your contractor, and it may not be easy to ask your contractor, and that's why sometimes an appraiser is useful, but we have to break apart the direct physical damage or the building damage from code. So if you are in a situation where, like in our community, we had it was not necessary to put in laminated glass or hurricane glass. Remember, we had that exclusion for many years up here in the Panhandle.
I remember that, right.
Well, so we lost that exclusion, and I think I'm glad, because I believe that hurricane glass is pretty important, especially in hurricanes. So that if you previously had unprotected openings and you have damage in excess of 25% of the glazing of the exterior of your residence or a building, then you will be required to bring the building, the fenestrations, the windows, doors, up to code in their entirety. So, run your math. If you've got 12, you've got more than 4, you've got more than 3, you've got 4 windows damage, you're going to have to do them all.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's just going to be little small details like that will get you through this process. And they look like a hurdle, except that what we fail to recognize is that there's actually likely coverage for that. There's likely law and ordinance coverage.
I want you to check out their website, teamcomplete.com. That's teamcomplete.com. And you can call the number 850-932-8720. I'm talking with John Miner. He's the owner of Complete Inc., their property damage appraisers. And let me ask you, yes, I have insurance. I'll tell you, I have State Farm. But how can you come in and help me? Because my case is still open. I mean, it's not closed.
Well, Big Red does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. I'm out here and I'm going to visit with y'all for the next bunch of Saturdays for the next weeks and months and years.
Yeah.
And my intention I'm going to tell you every way to not have to call me.
I love it. I love it.
That's what we're going to do, because
it's information.
Yeah, and I'm going to hope that Big Red State Farm is going to come out there and do a fantastic job for you. And I'm going to try to, and many times they do. And I'm going to tell you everything that I can suggest, not being involved in your claim, but being involved in what's really going on at your house. What's really the challenges associated with your roof? Is it because you've got 3/8-inch decking and that's no longer code compliant and you need to present?
See, that's what I need to know.
Right. It's the little details that get challenges hung up on something that likely is covered, that's likely just a disagreement in terms, or people stop communicating with one another. And I'm going to try to foster information that will allow people to continue to communicate, and you never need a property damage appraiser. You never go to impasse. You never have a problem. I'm only here in a professional capacity if you run into impasse. If you and State Farm, or State Farm and you can't get an agreement. If State Farm calls me up and they say, "Hey, Mr. John, we'd like you to come over here and talk and deal with Dr. Shane,"
right?
I'm going to show up and I'm going to give you the same deal.
Absolutely.
That if you called me up and walked us out of the studio here this afternoon and went and met with the man from Big Red.
I like that.
It's the same. It's the same deal. When you're calling it straight, it don't matter who you work for.
It is teamcomplete.com on the website. Look them up right now. Teamcomplete.com. John, are you on Facebook?
I am, yeah. My Facebook, it's John Miner, and then it's Complete Inc., of course, out of Gulf Breeze, Florida. I also have an office in South Florida as well. We do have a Hurricane Irma office, and we're continuing to replace big fancy tile roofs for rich folks in South of Miami.
I hear you. I'm with you. By the way, you can give him a call at 850-932-8021. 850-932-8021. There are many cases that are still open right here in the Florida Panhandle.
Well, there are. I mean,
especially Bay County.
Oh yeah. I mean, we were just looking at the math. I mean, there's 70,000 claims.
Plus, I think so.
Yeah,
I think that was it.
And we got about 44,000 more to settle. It's anything that is done right now is probably triage from the insurance company's perspective. Even at the time that you'll hear this, I mean, you're going to anything that's done here in November following a catastrophic event like we just had, it's all triage. Those adjusters, and I understand that you won't feel that when you get a check that's for considerably less than what you believe is the value, or you may know is the value, because you may have been spending time with a contractor who's he can eyeball it likely and tell you, well, Dr. Shane, I figure that's going to cost you about $85K.
Yeah, but see, there's the difference. And you come in, you do more than eyeball. I've seen your technology and the equipment that you bring in.
Well, we do both.
Yeah.
We do both. That's the trick. I understand. I'm a contractor. I'm a good old boy from down there in Gulf Breeze, Florida. And I assure you, I can pull up in your driveway and I can tell you that's an $800,000 repair, sir, or that's a $2.2 million repair, or that's a $85K, or that's a $350 square shingle roof. I got it, right? That's what I can do. But what I also can do is implement a drone inspection.
A drone inspection.
Roger.
Okay.
Yeah, an aerial survey. I can implement a weather survey. I can have my CCM, my certified consulting meteorologist, that's been peer and board approved, come out and provide us a on-site specific as necessary meteorological survey and tell you what the wind speeds were at your location. I can apply that to your building code based on the construction details that you're going to present to us, and we'll put that to the engineers. And they're going to tell me, hey, this is what these connections could have withstood. This is what the ASC 7 says when we built this. To the best, you might have built to 150-mile-an-hour wind code zone. In many occasions, this wind speed exceeded the design levels for almost all your construction here locally.
You're not going to get that information from other adjusters. You're just not going to get it because they don't have it. Now, there's a lot of great adjusters here in town that's doing a great job, but you're not going to get that kind of detailed information that Team Complete can do for you. That's teamcomplete.com. What are some of the numbers that you're hearing as far as wind gust on this storm? I keep hearing Category 4, but man, I'm telling you, it's got to be up there to a 5. I mean, I don't get it.
So
I know how powerful it was. We lived through it, John. We lived through it.
Roger that. Well, you'll probably see on my Facebook page. I'll ask Mary Ann actually from my office to drop onto Complete Inc.'s Facebook page, and maybe y'all would be willing to share it. But there has actually been a couple of assessments that have been done by the University of Florida. And I think I'm on the University of, full disclosure, I'm on the University of Florida Hurricane Research Team.
Okay.
And so we come in advance of every storm, and we drop our weather equipment. This particular storm, I was at $80 million challenge I'm resolving out in Texas. So I wasn't, I didn't set at this location, but I think I told you, we lost University of Florida lost 2 of their 4 hardened weather stations that they set.
Yeah, you told me you lost 2 stations.
Yeah, one out at Tyndall, and it just flipped right on over. So we're gathering the black box data from that weather station, and they have to do their science. This is not the wind speed was in excess of what could be measured. The measuring devices that we use at University of Florida are listening. They're sound devices. We thought they'd be fine, right? Because they're not going to blow apart. Well, the problem was the building in front of it blew apart and blew into our sound equipment.
Yeah. So how does that? Jeez.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I'm not high enough on the. That's above my pay grade, Dr. Shane.
Me too, but I just know it was a heck of a storm. They keep saying Cat 4, and I'm thinking, wow, that had to be a Cat 5 because the pressure in the eye continued to drop, and I know the winds pick up usually 2 hours to 3 hours after the pressure in the core drops, and man, it was a strong storm that came through.
Dr. Shane, I get to drive the truck. I know all those guys out there. Their job is to drive the truck.
Wow.
It's mine.
What a job!
Well, they let me hang out with the cool guys. I get to see all the neat equipment. Cantori's around, and Oklahoma State's got some stuff out there, and the twin Doppler radars come in. But my job is to drive the truck.
I like that. 850-932-8720. If you're just joining us, this is John Miner. He's the owner of Complete Inc. Now, yeah, they're general contractors, but at the same time, they're property damage appraisers, and that's exactly where they're going to come in and help you and your business. John, we have had complete industries that have been wiped away in Mexico Beach, businesses that have to rebuild. Where do they start? When they call 850-932-8721, what's the first step?
Well, I'm going to order them an elevation certificate. We brought in, as I guess I told you, we brought in our survey team 2 days after the storm. City of Mexico Beach was kind enough to allow us to get in there and catalog damages as long as we were able to stay out of the way. That's really the big challenge, is making sure that those first responders can go do their jobs. And by us going up top, by us being in the drones and our four-wheel drive equipment, our side-by-sides, et cetera, we were able to safely and securely gather information for, in that case, the insurer that we work for, to push money out. I mean, we pushed out, lots and lots of dollars.
Of money, yeah.
Lots and lots of dollars real quick. Yeah. I'm sure that my insurer got way, way ahead. And, I know that there's someone that's thinking, that we're out there for some other purpose, and it's not. I promise you, my interest is to get out there and to find every bit of wind damage I can, to document, identify, and get a value to my. In this case, I'm working for the insurance company, but I want to find wind damage, and I want to present it to that company, and I want them to move that money.
And it's not just wind damage. I mean, you are a professional when it comes to roofs, insulation, concrete foundations, steel buildings. You work with all different types of businesses.
Absolutely. Well, we are certified general contractors. I am a CGC in the state of Florida, which is the unlimited license. I've had that since 2000. I fasted at the old Tupperware Center down there in Orlando. And, buddy, I don't know how I got through that test. It was, they had 30 inches of books. I tell you, I ain't seen one of those books except on my shelf in the last 20 years.
Sure.
But I've studied it all, but now it's on a computer. It's all a PDF, and somebody brings it to me. But that's how we learned, and that's how we passed our tests. And I did that also in North Carolina and South Carolina, and then I got a bunch of few other certifications as well.
Well, the time has been put in, the degrees are there, and then you have the technology, you have the knowledge, and something else too, John. I want to bring out, because you're very humble. You have the heart. You have a passion for helping people get back to where they need to be.
Yeah, if you don't start with that, you don't get nowhere.
Yeah.
If you're not doing this as a service, then, and I think that's the way with anything, isn't it?
Sure.
I mean, that's the way it was. I gather so much good feeling.
Sure.
It's, I told you I coach, youth football, right?
Right.
It's that same sort of just, you're in service, and it's service for your Lord.
Time to play. Service for your Lord, absolutely.
It's service for your Lord. If you're taking a knee, we all know what it's for.
Absolutely.
And I know that if I give then it comes back, and it has, and that's the way I've lived my life, and that's the way all of us down around here live our lives. I know from the people that I'm seeing out here in my day to day, in when I'm in Lynn Haven, and when I'm out there, Weewall, when I'm out there in Mexico Beach, those folks
everywhere.
They're giving more than they're taking.
Sure, they are.
Every person I see, the first thing they ask me, "Can I get you a drink of water? How are you doing?" And regardless of the capacity where I'm showing up, I know some folks are stressed, and we're getting in. In some occasions, I work for the big bad wolf. I'm the man from the insurance company, right? But I tell you what, if you continue to extend that grace that we are known for here in Northwest Florida, it will come back in full.
Sure it will. TeamComplete.com. Give John Miner a call. He's a great guy with a great heart and a servant's heart. 932-8720. TheCompleteTeam.com. 932-8720.